No doubt it's been a busy morning, maybe a last few busy days. Could you just walk us through the process of how you ended up saying goodbye to Vlad?
Yeah, I guess with the position we're in and Vladdy becoming a UFA, it was prudent for us to be able to look around and make a move to gain some assets moving forward. Vladdy was terrific for us. We're hoping we're in a better situation right now moving forward, but at the end of the day, it was an opportunity for him and an opportunity for us.
How did his no trade clause limit things, or maybe, on what you could do with it and what you could get in return?
Well, it's something that the player negotiated into his contract, so it certainly adds a different dynamic to the whole process. So I'm happy with the return. I'm happy that Vladdy gets to go home, and his family had been there the entire year, so gets to play in a very good team and have an opportunity and close to home again.
Is there ever consideration on keeping him or renegotiating a contract with him?
I won't get into all the discussions with the player and the agent, but certainly, we really liked Vladdy. We liked what he brought to our group. But as time went on, this was the outcome.
Steve, you still had 48 hours to potentially do something. Why not take it closer to the finish line, maybe? And was there a chance to maybe try to squeeze something more out of it, or what was your thought there?
I won't get into the details of it, but the answer to that is unequivocally no. I think that we exhausted, all the options. We felt comfortable with where we were at, and that was the maximum value in that deal. And it also allows us some time to look at some other things now.
And speaking of those other things, how active would you say you are right now?
As active as anybody, I guess. We're looking at the trade deadline is one opportunity for us to be able to look at our group, see what might be out there on the market that can supplement our group, maybe change the dynamic a little bit. So we're looking at all of it.
How are you absorbing everything, just being a GM for your first NHL trade deadline?
It's been great. I got a great team around me, and we have a process in place, and we have an understanding of what we wanted to accomplish moving into it. Now, do we get to it all? The execution of it is what we're working on right now. But certainly, we have some ideas in mind that where we wanted to get to coming out of this deadline, if the opportunity presents itself. But the market will dictate on a lot of these things, and if we can really get there. And like I said, it's one opportunity, and to continue to move this team in the right direction.
How difficult is it to try and get somebody with term, or possibly move a player with term this week? Like, is this the week to do something like that?
Possibly. Again, Ian, it's you look at each deal and each player and each contract individually and how it fits in with the Ottawa Senators. And if it's a dynamic that fits, we'll take somebody on with term, and we're not opposed to looking at somebody with no term going forward, and maybe giving them a spin as well with our group and see if there's a fit. So we're open to a lot of different options.
Is goaltending something that you would look at this week?
I wouldn't get specific. I think we're looking at everything, really. I think we want to look to improve our group. I think our goaltending with the right play in front of them has shown that we have good goaltending. So there's been stretches of the season with our group where we've played some really, really good hockey, and the inconsistencies is what we're trying to put a finger on. And is it just that we're young? Is it inexperience? Is the type of players, the dynamics with our group? We're looking at all that, but certainly we've put a stretch together where we look like we're taking that next step.
There's been a lot of chatter around Jacob Chychrun, just his name being floated. How many, are you getting a lot of interest in him?
We're getting a lot of interest in all of our players, really. We have good players. It's, at this time of the year, you feel for the players because their names are out there, but there's nothing that we're actively doing on Jacob Chychrun. But I've said this before, if I was on the other end of the line, I'd be certainly inquiring about a player of that caliber.
Is there an update you can give us on Josh Norris?
Yeah, we'll learn a little bit more as we move forward here. It's going to be a long-term situation with Josh, but nothing real detailed right now.
Is there a chance, do you think he could play again this season, or is that it's safe to assume that he won't play, or how?
I think we'll have to wait to see. Yeah.
He's been evaluated by multiple doctors at this point, or one?
Yeah, we go through the process, and we always encourage a second opinion to make sure that we have all the bases covered.
Josh has had a say, it sounds like, in the past with his injury. How much is his opinion on this important to the organization?
No, it's massively important. I think we want to support our players and in all areas, but especially with their health. We'll take the appropriate amount of time and allow him to get all the opinions. We're extremely confident in our staff, but also the second opinion tends to confirm what our doctors are looking at as well. But we encourage that, and we support all our players in that regard.
Is the situation being handled any differently just because it's a shoulder that's been re-aggravated many times?
I wouldn't go into detail on that.
Steve, you might get a little bit more flexibility with your cap because of Josh, and I know you ate some money on Tarasenko, but you get some more flexibility. Would you consider being like a third-party broker for another team? Like you get a draft pick and you eat somebody's salary. Is that something you would consider doing in the next couple of days?
Well, we're in a situation with 2 retentions already, so we'll see how that unfolds. That's highly unlikely for us, but certainly looking at, again, if the opportunity comes up and it's a player that we think fits in with our group, with some of the space that we have, we'll certainly look at it.
I know you chatted with Pierre LeBrun last week, and the coaching discussion was brought up, and I just wanted to ask you about the search. Is it fair to say, like, from here on in, Jacques will coach for the rest of the season, or is there any scenario in which you could see a different head coach coming in just for the last couple of weeks of the season?
Yeah, I don't see any scenario in that regard. I think Jacques and Alfie and Cap, and I think they've done a great job and setting the standard for this group moving forward. I think we've seen again in the detail and discipline of the game and the improvement in that area. It's going to be up to the players now to find the consistency in it, but certainly pleased with everything the coaches have been able to the foundation they've been able to lay with this group. We'll go through a process at the appropriate time.
You mentioned, and I apologize, I feel like I'm taking all of my questions here. You mentioned earlier the trade deadline is just one opportunity, or the first opportunity for you to kind of put your stamp on this team. So your message to the fan base, would it be, okay, give us some time here, come back to us in 6 months, 5 months, and then we can see the impact rather than just everybody sort of rushing to judgment on what you do in the next 48 hours?
I think that would be fair. I think it's very challenging to address all needs or all the needs that you're looking to do, but certainly the trade deadline is one opportunity for it. Even to put a timeline on this group and when it will take that next step, it's, there's so many variables to it. Take health into consideration right now with this group, not having a real good year with luck that way, but I think timing will take care of itself. I think we have a process in place on areas of need and what we'd like to address, and we're certainly working hard at trying to address them right now.
One other injury update question. Travis Hamonic, what's his situation? At one point it was week to week, and what is his injury?
Travis is coming back from a lower body injury. We don't feel like it's serious, and he continues to rehab back in Ottawa.